My name is IRALYNN Johnson, but I go by the artist name IRALYNN. I was born and raised in Newnan, Georgia. Both my parents are married. They've been married for 45 years going on this year. So I had a two-parent home. I had 3 siblings, and I grew up with 2 of them in the home. I love art, drawing and painting, visual arts. I'm a gospel singer. I always sung from a young age with my sister and my brother, although he doesn't sing now. Had a really good upbringing from my parents. I had a very good father. I have a very good father. He's still living. And yeah, I have amazing parents. I am not married. I am divorced. I've been married twice in my lifetime. I got married very young. When I was 22 years old, I married my oldest son's father. And I was very young, naive, not knowing a lot of things, but I was raised in a Christian home. So we believe that you're supposed to get married and have a family. Both parents are supposed to be in the household. And that didn't work out. It didn't work out because of a lot of different things. And I got married again. I believe I was 26 when I got married again and had a baby. I have 3 boys. I was married for almost a decade of my life and got divorced in 2015. And I am now a single parent of 3 boys. My boys are 17, 14, and 2 years old. After a decade of being married, I got used to having a man around, and my children were also used to having a father figure around. And the transition happened because I was in an abusive marriage and I needed to get out. And so because I have a very good father, an amazing father actually, he told me that he couldn't take care of 2 households, but if I were to come live with him, he would take care of us. And I've been with my father and my mother for the last 8 years now. My dad has been true to his word. He's definitely shown me how I'm to be taken care of and cared for as a woman. And I'm grateful for him. Having all boys is easy and challenging and beautiful all in the same. All of my boys have different personalities, and that's okay. Everybody has a different personality, but my children have interesting personalities. Jalen, he's very athletic, has always been athletic, very energetic, outgoing, and he stays outside even after school. He may come in and be outside all day long until it's time to go to bed. Whereas my son Milan, he's more reserved. He does tend to go outside sometimes. He likes activities outside, but sometimes he's inside. Most of the time he's inside playing his games. He loves to game, and he loves computers and stuff, so he has a different hobbies. And then my 2-year-old, he's Spider-Man right now. So he is Spider-Man right now, and I love all 3 of them. Judah has a lot of energy. He's more like Jalen. They have a lot of energy to burn off. But it's challenging to juggle each one of them, having their own personalities and characteristics. I find myself trying to make more time, to spend more time individually with them, and that I have found to be hard. Just because there's so much going on within a day, and you never want either one of your children to feel left out or feel like they're unloved or unworthy of your love. And it's hard to, sometimes being a single mom, it can be challenging to not feel as if they're missing something because their father isn't here. So I find myself reassuring myself and telling myself that I am enough as a mom, that a lot of things were my fault, and a lot of things weren't my fault, and a lot of things were out of my control. And I can't change the past, but I can change my future. And I can begin to be aware of my present time so that I can see the errors of my ways, and so that I can teach my children a different way of looking at things, a different perspective. And so that's what my challenge is now, is just trying to make sure that I'm being the best Ira that I can be, so that I can be the best mom that I can be. And I almost thought that it was the other way around, but I believe that I can't be the best mom if I'm not taking care of myself. And so now I find myself making sure that I'm doing a little bit more of self-care, taking more time for myself, taking more time to think about what is it that's going to help me to be more calm, more relaxed, more energetic, and ready to engage my children. Sometimes it gets to be overwhelming being a single mom, and you need somewhere to run to, and the safest place I found to run to is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Yeshua. As well as that, I feel like it's important to have a support system. My support system is my parents and my sister and her husband, as well as my brother and his wife. I also have my church family, my pastor, the male figures at my church. I have a pretty good support system surrounding me to help me cope and deal with the aftermath, or the response that my children may have to their father not being in their lives. As well as that, I believe that counseling is necessary. My children and I have attended counseling before, and I found it to be beneficial, and just a release, figuring out what triggers we may have, figuring out what we should and shouldn't do, why things happen. I feel like counseling helps you to get those issues out on the table. And sometimes it's just allowing my child to cry, allowing my child to be in the moment of being hurt that he's not there, that their father's not there, and just being a listening ear to listen to his conversation, to hear their hurt, I think is a major part of being a single mom. And it's also challenging for me to hear their hurt, to hear how much they want their father to be in their lives, and to actually deal with the fact that they're not. I used to think that they lacked. When I became a single mom for the second time, I used to think that they would lack. But because of the presence of my father, and my father is a great man, I don't believe that they lack anything, because they have a praying mom, have an awesome, amazing grandfather that stands in the gap for them. And my mom is there as well as all the other mentors and pastors and men in the community that they're interacting with. I think counseling is very important. Counseling has helped my sons cope with different situations that we went through, as well as helping me to get through some things. And it's an important tool to have. Have conversations about what has already happened in our history and find ways to show examples of what not to do, what to do, and possibly how to handle situations better, just to help them prevent themselves from being in a bad situation or whatever it may be. Seeing everything that's been going on in our community and society in regards to black boys being killed, being black while driving, black while walking, black wearing a hoodie, and being hurt, pulled aside, killed. It makes me nervous that I have 3 boys that I have to send out into a world that is so cruel, that doesn't see them as just a human being, but they see them as this black man, this brown skinned man that could do harm, but they never met my child. So it makes me nervous. It makes me sometimes fearful that they will one day get their license and have to drive and get pulled over. How will they handle it? I hope that the conversations, the examples, the prayers that I have given them, covered them with, will help them be enough in the situation or in situations to come.
Hi, I'm Lisa Norwood, founder and CEO of Mothers Raising Sons. Back in 1999, I was working in juvenile court, and as I was there, I just noticed a lot of single mothers raising boys and needing help. That is not true. So what really happened is one of my employees came to me and said, I have this lady at the front desk and she needs some help. I went to her and she had a 6-year-old son, and she said, he needs a probation officer because I don't know what to do with him. I'm like, oh my Lord. I just prayed about it. Lord, what is it that I need to do to help these mothers that are coming in and not knowing what to do with their sons? And also, I needed some assistance with my sons, a program that would educate me and mentor to them. And I searched, and by being in the juvenile court, I knew the programs that were available to keep them from re-entering recidivism. But there was nothing for them to prevent them from coming in. God put on me to start a nonprofit. What is a nonprofit? I don't know what that is. And I asked friends and family, what should I do? And they said, why would you think of leaving your job to start a nonprofit that you don't know nothing about? And my answer was, he'll provide everything that I need. So despite what everyone else was saying, I stepped out on faith and I quit my job. And I started Mothers Raising Sons with God being my CEO. So Mothers Raising Sons, what we do is a support group where we educate single mothers on raising boys and mentor to the boys. So the boys have their group and they talk about their issues and concerns. And then we have the mothers in their group where they talk about their issues and concerns. And in both groups we have positive male role models to give us suggestions and ideas of their issues and concerns. Thank you for choosing Mothers Raising Sons, the village of single mothers raising sons. Appreciate it.
My name is VERLISA Waring. I am Louisiana born and bred, Georgia raised and fed. I grew up here in College Park, Georgia. So I have been here for 41 years. So some would say I'm a natural Georgia peach, but I'm still Louisiana gumbo. I have been married. I'm recently divorced. I have 3 kids. I have a 31-year-old, his name is David. I have a 30-year-old, his name is Daylon, and then I have a 13-year-old daughter. Both David and Daylon live here in College Park, Georgia. David works for the government, and Daylon, he works for this company that he's able to show his artistic skills. He is my free spirit child. Both of my boys are a perfect blend of me. Far as the tenacity, the will to go, the sensitive side, even the angry side, they are a perfect blend to me. I had a great support system. I had my mom and I had my stepfather. So they were always there when my boys were growing up. So they made sure that not only my boys had what they needed, if I could not provide it, they made sure that I had what I needed, when I couldn't provide for myself. I was fortunate to connect with the community in College Park at Brady Gym, Mr. Tommy and all of the coaches and stuff, that they took on to my boys as though they were theirs. When my boys went to high school, the coaches at the high school took on to my boys as though they were there. So my boys always had a male figure in their lives that would free up moments for me, whereas I can just be mommy instead of having to play the role of mommy and daddy. Well, I'm not going to say they went against me because their father wasn't there. Boys, naturally, once they get into puberty, 14, 15, 16 years old, they are going to test the water because now they're coming into their manhood. So both my oldest boy and my youngest boy thought that they were big enough whereas they could buck up. And that's when they found out that mama is just not a little woman. Mama can rise up to be a big bear and put you back in your place. Again, it had nothing to do with their father not being there. It's just when it's a certain period of time in a boy's life, they're gonna go from being that sweet child to they want to come into their manhood. You know, all these hormones are going, the muscles are growing, the hairs are showing, and they feel that they're a man. And even with you being a single woman, you have to put that man, that young man, back into a little boy's place and let them know that you're not going to run over me and you're not going to run my household. I still run this. You know, it's always been a taboo in the Black community. You don't tell what's going on inside the house. It's time to shatter the glass ceilings. It's too many of us that are damaged, men and women, because we're afraid what people are going to say. And the only reason we're afraid what people are going to say is because of the conversations that we're had in the house. You know, we've all of us have had that family member that we knew was dealing with a mental illness. And they will always be in the back room of the house, or they'll come out and everybody say, oh, you know he crazy. And the little kids, as little kids, we would laugh about it. It's even portrayed in movies today. But it's very important that you find somebody to talk to. And it's preferably better to find somebody that's outside of your family, that is going to be able to just listen to you, and they're going to be able to help change your mindset about how you're looking at stuff. You know, I was a young mother. I had came out of the Marine Corps, had my kids. My first son, I had him at 22. I had returned home, and I was still out there doing me. And I was fortunate that I had a mom and I had a stepfather. That really wasn't my stepfather. He was really like my dad. That took on to my son, so there was no lack. We have to put away what we think we want to do, and we have to grab hold to our child and let them know that I'm mama, and spend that time. Once you have a baby, it's no longer just about you. It's about you and that child. And with little boys, you have to love on them. You have to let them know that they're special. You have to let them know that they're unique. You can't tell a little boy, which I think a lot of us growing up, and as we got adults, we've made that mistake of telling little boys they can't cry. That's incorrect. And now as men grow up and they're grown, women are dealing with a lot of issues of abuse, emotionally, mentally, physically, because that man has so much balled up anger that stems back from when he was a little boy, when he was whipped or he got beat up. We told them, you better not cry. If they got beat up, we told them, you better go back out there and you better beat them up. We're teaching them anger. We're teaching them to be mean. We have to stop that. And as single moms, I don't care what happened with you and the father. Do not tell a little boy you're just like your daddy. Because you are painting a picture for that child that has nothing to do with that child. Because if you say, you just like your daddy, well, what are you saying about you? Because you was a part of that person. Don't do that. Do not make that child's identity become the bad person's identity or the boogeyman syndrome, because we're quick to say, oh, I'm going to tell your daddy. No, deal with the situation yourself, and don't say you're going to push it off on the father. I'm going to tell your daddy as a threat to make that child feel as though he needs to fear his father. He doesn't need to fear his father. He needs to respect the father as well as the mother. That's what I would suggest. My stepdad, Gerald Johnson, I did not accept him as my father until I got good and grown. My father was absent from my life. And when I was younger, he was there, but when I got older, he was absent because he had another family. And so my stepfather always treated me as though I was his. But I didn't accept it. But it wasn't until I had my kids and I saw that he was actually the daddy I always needed. And I was happy that he was there up until my boys graduated from high school, for them to see what a true man was, what a loving man was, what a sensitive man was, and who a man was who really truly loved his family. As a single mother, when you come into the realization that you are responsible for those little beings, getting your hair done, you're going to put that to the side. Or you'll learn how to, let me go and buy me an Optimum Perm, because you always want to get the top one so you don't mess your hair up. You'll start relaxing your own hair. You're not going to run to the nail salon to get your nails done. You'll go back to the old days when they bought the Theon nail polish, and you'll polish your own nails. You're not going to walk out the door and you have on a $300 dress and shoes, and your baby's, his hair is nappy, knotted up, tennis shoes are dirty, and give the excuse of, he's just a little boy. No, if anyone's hair is going to be knotted up, clothes are going to be wrinkled, it's going to be yours. But you're going to make sure that your child is clean, your child has a meal, and your child is healthy. If that means, I remember one time, I had lost my job. The only thing I had in my cabinet was spaghetti noodles. We had some ketchup, mustard. We had all the little supplements. And I remember going in the kitchen, putting on the spaghetti, and I made the spaghetti sauce out of the ketchup, mustard, seasoned it up real good, and we had Kool-Aid. You do that for your kids. That night, I didn't eat anything because I didn't have enough for all three of us to eat. And instead of me saying, I'll take a little portion, they can have a little portion, I made sure that they had a full meal for themselves. So that meant I went to bed without eating. That's what you do, because that's what love does. Take your time and love yourself. Forgive yourself. As mothers, we do some crazy stuff. We say some crazy stuff. Ask your sons to forgive you, because in your anger, you may have said some things that did not edify him. Ask him for forgiveness, and always tell your sons that you love them, and they can be whoever they choose to be. And when they say, Mama, I want to play football. Mama, I want to do this. If it's something that's going to build their character, you find a way to make it happen. But love yourself. You can't love your sons if you don't love yourself.